Picture this. You paid $600 for a wristband, $1,000 for your Airbnb. You're standing shoulder to shoulder to thousands of people in the desert at 11:30 p.m. or something. And then it hits. The biggest pop star of our generation walks out and gives you a 45-minute snooze fest that just makes you go, what the hell? Why am I here? Sounds like it's just a rehearsal. It's not even the two songs you know from Swag 2. It's like, trying to figure out what to put on a B side. You're bored, you're exhausted. It feels like a massive ripoff, right? And then the flip hits. Sunday morning in the desert, you open TikTok, right? Timeline isn't talking about that. It's no one's talking about the boring first half. It's flooded with clips of him sitting at the laptop, right? Set to those lo-fi sad music the clips on TikTok are. The captions like he's finally healing, protect his peace, and so on. Now my question is, how did a billionaire giving a bare minimum effort on a festival stage, earning $10 million, successfully convince the internet that he was doing something brave? Sawadee Krap and welcome to the Fungal Podcast, Mindful Media and Communication in Thai New Year's attire. It's the Thai New Year while I'm recording, and if you're watching the clip, you also see stuff packed behind me because I'm about to move soon as well. So everything a bit hectic, but I still had to react to Coachella and Justin Bieber, of course. One more time, though, the outfit, Happy New Year, Sawadee Pimai from Thailand. I hope you're doing well, you're gonna be healthy, and all those things. But let's go back to what happened at Coachella, right? I took some notes that I wanted to actually use, and I'm not gonna do it now. I'm changing my mind on the fly, but I wanted to say we're talking about Justin Bieber, MacBook karaoke, and how he used therapy speak to scam the algorithm. I'm not gonna say those words now because it's gonna upset lots of people. But I still have to address it to some degree. So, and by the way, this is not to say that I did not enjoy the karaoke session. Just like everybody else, I had fun watching it. Okay. But let's start at the beginning, okay? The festival ticket is like, for me, if I go to a concert, it's kind of like a transactional contract. I give you loads of money, you entertain me. Why else would I give you all the money? Coachella, pretty expensive. Yeah. So if the artist then mails it in for the first 45 minutes, I'm annoyed. So what Bieber did for the first 45 minutes is this thing. It's not artistic subversion, like I'm gonna reel you in and make you think like it's gonna suck and then it's gonna be awesome, because he did it for 45 minutes. And to me, that's almost hostile, to be honest. To me, it was like, okay, the guy got his $10 million check, and now he just didn't want to carry the weight. That's how it felt for 45 minutes. After that, sure, it was fun. That does not erase those 45 minutes of anger and disappointment, though. And if you look at the psychology here, right, and we call it in communications, we talk about something that's called sunk cost fallacy, okay? So why do this, okay? Why intentionally starving the audience of dopamine? And, like I said, this could be like, if you do it for a shorter time, this could be a way of lowering expectations or then like hitting the switch. But 45 minutes is a very, very long time. So if you make the audience suffer for 45 minutes, they become desperate. And by the time he finally gave them a crumb of no recognizable hits from back in the day. They treated it like a feast. Still, 45 minutes of starvation is a very long time. So it's not like he won the crowd over. It's kind of like he wore them down until they were happy to hear something. It's kind of like the Stockholm syndrome meets festival energy, festival economy, actually. And okay, let's glaze him a little bit as well, okay? The MacBook thing was fun. Yeah. Stage dark, not demonic red anymore, like during his swag performance. There should be a different episode. He sits at this little desk where they had the MacBook put up, checks YouTube. Everybody's like, hey, I'm glad he's got YouTube Premium. It's Coachella's YouTube. So, of course, they kidding. Okay. But it's kind of like turning Coachella stage into a bedroom Twitch stream, right? Cool. Okay. It's obviously also the laziest way ever to do a concert. No choreography, no background singers, no nothing. No band, just playing YouTube videos, but PR-wise, masterstroke, and I had fun as well. I'm not just hating, okay? So it's cool. But let's break it down what actually happened. And we're in 2026, so everybody knows therapy language, all those things. You see all those reels on TikTok and IG. So therapy language is kind of like a cultural currency by now. And so Bieber wasn't just sitting at the laptop, he was projecting that. He was projecting the aesthetic of the healed man, the guy who's healing right now. And so he swapped that physical labor of a pop star, choreography, band, all those things for the emotional labor of, how do we call it? Like, we talked about parasocial relationships before in a podcast, right? So it's a parasocial therapy, if you will. I see, because I know how, and I saw how people felt about it, and it really did something to them. And you see all those reels that people are sharing how it made them feel, and it's a good thing. And I'm glad so many people felt that about it. So I don't want to hate on that because it clearly did something to lots of people. But from a communications point of view and from also like economics point of view, it was, it was genius, but it was also lazy to an extent, okay? And I mean, just look at all the reactions on TikTok. Everybody ate it up, bought right into it. But why? Because we're conditioned that way. We're conditioned to view like boundary setting as moral high ground, if you will. And he's like tearing down his boundaries in this moment, and we're like, oh, look at him being vulnerable, look at him being normal, look at him smiling for the first time. Yeah. I do not believe for a second that any of that was spontaneous. I mean, of course, that he did the YouTube thing was not spontaneous, but that was planned, but also his reactions were not spontaneous. I don't think so. And if you just, look at it from a professional point of view, he packaged a zero effort performance into what's kind of like a bulletproof kind of like language of trauma recovery therapy speak, if you will. If you criticize this show right now as lazy, his fans stands immediately call you like you're toxic for not letting him heal. So he's weaponizing empathy. Don't come at me. Try. I'm kidding. I'm looking at it through a theory point of view. Okay, if he's actually healing, power to him. I just don't think that happens on stage. And I didn't check like newspapers or TMC or whatever because I really don't care. But how could any of them write something bad about him healing while singing along to his 12-year-old self? You need to be a monster to say something negative about that. or teach media theories. Yeah. On my note sheet, I wrote down in quotation marks. I wrote down, I call it the parasocial checkmate. Okay, so because the thing is, how many memes have you seen by now with Justin Bieber looking into the MacBook camera, right? I said Justin Bieber. And this visual is everywhere right now, and then, I mean, on the set, she played his own cringe moments. Yeah, the paparazzi interactions, not clocking him running into like the rotating door, which was by a German news channel, by the way, RTL, actually a local RTL news channel, which was interesting. They also reacted to it, reposted, like we couldn't believe that we are at Coachella stage with our clip. So, but he played all of this at this massive screen, right? While singing along, while talking along. That's PR like judo. It's fantastic. It's great. But because you cannot make fun of a celebrity who's already memeing himself. So he neutralized the internet's ammunition by firing at himself, which is very smart, right? Which is very cool, but again, also very PR-ish. And I still stick to my guns, though. I still stick to my guns. When I'm saying that while it was fun, yes, the audience on the ground still got scammed out of an actual concert. They had a fun karaoke session for 15 minutes, yes, but is that what you paid for? The digital audience on their phones, they got the exact healing journey content they crave. The luckiest or the happiest were probably those who didn't watch it live, who just watched the highlights after, because then it looks like it was just all awesome. Now the question is, what matters more? The people in the moment, and let's be honest, you also will only remember the highlights if you're a fan. You're like, I don't care about that I suffered for 45 minutes. It was still nice. I went there. I paid so much money and must have been awesome. And I mean, answer to the question, the internet matters more. Real experiences do not matter anymore. I am exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying, right? Society of the spectacle, hyperreality. We talked about all those things many times on this podcast. What matters is the frame we're putting around it. What matters is like the filter we're putting on it. What matters is the hyperreality and the hyperreal story we tell about it, so that we remember not what actually happened, that we got scammed out of a concert. What matters is that we remember, oh, it was so nice, like those 15 minutes of karaoke was so cool, and he's sitting and he's smiling and all those things. Yes. And the concert lasted 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. I switched off after he stopped karaokeing, to be honest. The TikToks will loop forever. And that's exactly what this concert session was aimed for. So now I don't want to keep hating on JB, because I mean, again, I've seen so many people really taking to it and appreciating it and all those things. So, and if that's the case, that's really good, because different people, different opinions, different audiences react differently to what they see and what they experience. Totally fine. Again, just trying to put some different kind of comms and media lenses on it. Now, what this tells me, though, as a takeaway, and then 15 minutes of talking about Justin Bieber is enough. Then we can go back to war and all those things. I think the audience these days, and that goes hand in hand with like some statistics we see when it comes to even digital marketing, e-commerce, the audience does not want untouchable pop stars anymore. We want emotional. This is where you unsubscribe now, if you have subscribed. We want emotional Tamagotchis. That's what we want. We want broken celebrities that we can collectively nurse back to health. Through a screen, ideally, not through real life. That's what we want. the statistics showed that authenticity, especially Gen Z, that's the statistics I just pulled from my digital marketing class, for example. Gen Z is apparently responding way better to authentic messaging rather than to the perfect idealistic or ideal messaging. Idealistic, maybe yes, but the perfect ideal messaging is not as much as a resonating factor anymore. So it's more like authenticity, which goes hand in hand with what I just said. We want emotional Tamagotchis so that they are broken and we can nurse them back to us and feel like we've been part of that healing journey. Parasocial relationships tells us not the case. While you know everything about them, they know nothing about you. So, yeah, JB proved that you don't need $1 billion stage production to win. Not the audience, because I still think if you looked at the audience the first 45 minutes, they were annoyed and bored and frustrated. But you don't need $1 billion production to win the attention economy. That's what you don't need. You need to convince the algorithm that your karaoke session is a breakthrough in your trauma recovery. That's what you need to do. So this leads me to the question / thesis. Is the era of the pop spectacle dead? Or the era of the pop spectacle is dead? The era of the parasocial hostage situation is not. And that's what I leave you with. What do you think? Do you think I'm exaggerating? Do you agree? Do you think this healing journey was the best thing ever? Do you think, like me, that parasocial hostage crises just began and that everybody's now going to try to cash in on that? And let me know in the comments. At FunkyPod on all the socials, funkypod@gmail.com. Until then, stay safe, take care. Happy New Year one more time. And until then, we talk soon. Sawadee Cup.